All right, so it is 1 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for those that are joining us today for our Ask an OC webinar, specifically about life on and off campus. My name is Lindsay Snow. I'm an assistant director in the Office of New Student and Family Services, and we have some of our Gold Rush student coordinators here who are actually going to be moderating this panel. So I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves shortly, but just to go over a few notes. We cannot see or hear you as attendees of this panel. We will not be utilizing the chat function down below, so use the Q&A section for any questions that you have. Feel free to ask those questions throughout. This is primarily just a question and answer session, so we'll be answering any questions you have as you go throughout the panel. And then also a recording of today's session will be available on YouTube next week, so if you want to look back at this or share it with any maybe friends that are coming to UNC Charlotte or family members you have, certainly feel free to share that with them, that it will be on YouTube, our YouTube page next week. So I'll go ahead and without further ado, pass it over to our Gold Rush student coordinators to introduce ourselves and then pass it along to our panelists.
All right, hey y'all, my name is Cameron. I am one of the Gold Rush student coordinators. So I also work within the Office of New Student and Family Services.
Hi everyone, my name is Raina Cowens. I'm one of the other Gold Rush student coordinators, and I also work in the New Student and Family Services offices. So let's get to meet our panelists for today.
Good morning, y'all. My name is, afternoon. My name is Dallas Eason. I'm a fourth year PR communications major from Wake Forest, North Carolina, and I am OC number 14.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heath Tillman, and I'm a third year theater major from Harrisburg, North Carolina, and I'm your OC number 29.
Hey everyone, my name is Shaylee Rice. I am a third year political science and criminal justice double major from Kernersville, North Carolina, and I'm your OC number 19.
Hey, my name is Ashley Spicer. I'm a second year mechanical engineer major from High Point, North Carolina, and I'm your OC number 5.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Yayla Narahita. I'm a fourth year majoring in criminal justice from Wallace, North Carolina, and I'm your OC number 18.
All right, awesome. Thank y'all for all introducing yourselves. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and ask y'all any questions. Those who are watching, if y'all have questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A box like Lindsay said. So to go ahead and get started, our first question is, what is the best way to get around campus?
That is a great question. We have a number of ways to get around campus. One of the, I think, most well-known among the student population is Niner Transit. We have a number of buses that run on set routes. They're pretty on time from, what I experienced. I think they're a really reliable way of getting around campus. They run all over. We've got going different directions, so there's always lots of options to get to class or wherever you're going on time.
Also, another way to get around campus is walking. We have pretty much every building is approximately, it's close to each other, so you'll be fine. You can walk to your classes from your residence hall. It's not too far, and like Dallas said, you could always take the bus route.
I'd like to add that with the Niner Transit, we have an app called UNCC Next Ride where you can see the routes for all 3 are like bus lines, and you can see the time for when the next buses are coming. And we also have bikes that are available for rental around the campus. You get an hour free riding every day, and you can get an app on your phone called SOBI, and it will give you an account number. You have to sign up with your credit card, but it won't be used unless you go over an hour, and you can just rent the bikes out at each stop, and it'll show you how many are at what locations on campus.
One last thing that I'd like to highlight is UNC Charlotte's commitment to accessibility. We also have Niner Paratransit for students who have accessibility needs, which are different from the rest of the student body. And so you can find more information on that at ds.uncc.edu or through Parking and Transportation Services.
Oh my God, those are awesome answers. Those are super awesome. So what is parking like on campus?
I can answer that. I feel like parking was very beneficial, especially I parked close to my residence hall. We had a lot literally right beside it. So all I got to do is park. And even though it gets full quick, there's so many different options. You can park in the parking deck, you can park in the parking lot. And I just feel like it was just very beneficial for me.
The parking is like in airport. The busiest is 9 to 11. So always look out. Make sure you do come a bit earlier if you're commuting, so you can find a spot before your classes start.
As a person, I guess, who commuted my first year, parking was very easy for me as I had a parking pass, and I always made sure to get there as early as possible before my class started so that I could give myself time to park and walk to class. So I guess for like all the commuters out there, I would recommend that as well because it made my first year a lot easier.
Great answers. For the next question, it's going to be, what is PATS?
That's a pretty easy one for me. PATS stands for Parking and Transportation Services. We tend to use a lot of acronyms at UNC Charlotte, and PATS is just Parking and Transportation Services. It's one of the offices on our campus.
Perfect. How can students get to campus from off-campus housing?
I can get us started on this one as well. I know that a number of our off-campus properties offer some bus routes which run between the properties and the campus. We also have the CATS system. So the Charlotte Area Transportation Services is, I think, what it stands for. So they have bus routes which run around the Charlotte area. We also have the light rail, which connects us to the greater Charlotte region. It is absolutely free for UNC Charlotte students to ride, and it offers a lot of accessibility to our campus from other parts of Charlotte.
Awesome, those are great answers. How safe are the residence halls?
The residence halls are very safe. There are card accesses to each building. Your card will work only for your residence hall. It won't let you in the other ones. And if you're going to visit someone else's building, you have to be with the person who's letting you in, like at all times in the building. And there's also blue lights spread out along campus, and you should be able to see one blue light from each blue light, and you can hit it and it's like an emergency help button and people will come if you are feeling like unsafe walking around.
I would also like to add, when entering residence hall, letting people in, you can only hold the door open for a certain amount of time. I believe it's after like maybe 30 seconds. Some residence halls are less. He put it 10 seconds. But some residence halls, the alert will go off a lot faster. So if you're like letting people in, that's something that you really like can only do for so long. So yeah.
I would also like to add that there's securities around the residence hall, so you'll be safe and you can ask any questions. They'll be there to answer.
Awesome, those are great answers and those are all really, really helpful. How would you describe what could a student carry to make them feel safe on campus?
I don't want to necessarily give advice on what students can carry with them or not carry with them on campus. I think a really great resource is our university's legal office. I know that as we get into personal safety, there are a lot of legal ramifications that come with that, and a lot of codes and things that our legal office, as well as our police and public safety office, would be able to give more specific answers on. So those are two really great resources. A lot of the information is available online. You can kind of see a list of prohibited items, as well as maybe some items that police and public safety encourages you to bring for your personal safety.
Perfect, thank you. For y'all's next question, we're gonna ask, I'm sorry. How easy is it to get from class to class?
So I guess I could like start this one off. I would say depending on where you are on campus, a lot of my classes like this past year were in either Robinson or Rowe, and I stayed in Witherspoon. So depending on how early you get up and how quickly you decide to leave, I would say it's about a 10 to 15-minute walk. And I'm a pretty fast walker, like I walk at a fast pace. So I would recommend you, if you're not planning on like taking a bus, if you're gonna walk, to like leave your room like 20 minutes prior to class at least. Because I know for me, like I had to do that just because I like to be on time. So.
Just to piggyback off of what he said, that 20 minutes before is always beneficial. And then if you have like time in between your classes and you don't want to necessarily go back to your room, there's the library that you can sit in to like waste a little bit of time, but also get some studying in, just so you don't have to make that walk back to your room or commute back to your residence off campus. And then there's so many different dining options, so you can always just sit in Prospector or the Student Union just to kill that time, just in case you don't want to go back.
Perfect, thank you. So we have a question from one of our attendees. What is there to do in Charlotte?
What isn't there to do in Charlotte is probably a shorter list. There is so much to do in Charlotte. I know that the list has probably changed a little bit as we navigate the safety of people living in Charlotte and kind of try and comply with the governor's, I guess, guidelines for keeping people safe. But there's still so much to do. I know I mentioned the library earlier. That'll take you to the Noda region, which is a really popular spot for a lot of students at UNC Charlotte. We've got, I think Amelie's Bakery is up there. It's a really, really cool spot to study, hang out, grab coffee. It's open 24 hours. It's really awesome. It'll take you to the Spectrum Center. The library will take you to the Epicenter. There's all kinds of like shops and places to eat, and I don't know. There's like if you can think of something to do, there's probably some availability in Charlotte, honestly.
There's also Concord Mills if you like to shop a little bit. They have a wide range of different stores you can go to. There's different little restaurants around campus, so make sure you're taking advantage of your student discounts. And yeah.
I'll say, just to piggyback on what you all said, the things to do in Charlotte, like if you just research it and just look it up, that's what I used to do my first year here at UNC Charlotte. I just found stuff to do, and usually like the RAs or even people in the union, like there's stuff posted up literally everywhere about what's going on, like even outside of campus. So you just have to really be on the lookout and like want to look to find something to do. You should never be bored on a weekend, in my opinion.
Okay, I have another question for y'all. What happens if a student has a night class and doesn't feel comfortable walking back to their residence hall?
I can take this. The Livesafe App is one of the awesome features that we have at UNC Charlotte's campus that is really a direct line to police and public safety. We have a number of options there. We can have police and public safety watch you walk back from whatever building you're going from and to. We have an anonymous tip hotline where you can anonymously leave tips to PBS. We have the blue light system. So like Ashley mentioned earlier, you can't really stand at one blue light without seeing the next one. And those are all, like, I guess if you haven't been to campus to see them, they're towers with a little blue light on top, and they've all got a button on them that says press for help, and it'll connect you directly to the Police and Public Safety office. And I guess the last thing is that if you need to, Police and Public Safety is really great about meeting you and walking with you back to your residence hall as well. So that's an option for you.
Did anyone else want to add anything? Also going off of the Livesafe app, you can also have your roommate. So like, let's say your roommate's in the room and you want them to watch you, they can actually watch your Livesafe, and you can share location until you get to your destination as well. But we do have a question, so I'm going to share this. What is any advice for first year students? I'm nervous for this semester.
I can start. Something that was told to me was don't procrastinate, especially going into this semester with a lot of things up in the air and you're going to be doing a lot online. Definitely take advantage of when your professor sends you an email of a list of things that you need to take care of. Take care of it like when you get it, because procrastination is real. And definitely email your professors if you ever have any questions, because you won't get the answers that you have the questions to unless you reach out and definitely get in contact with your professors.
There's also a lot of academic resources if you do find yourself struggling in your courses. We have the UCAE, which stands for the University Center of Academic Excellence, where they provide tutoring for a number of courses. You can select the tutor you want and the time of day that you want. If you find something's not working out with one tutor, there's like almost 100% guarantee there's going to be someone else who will be able to help you with the subject. Or you can go to your professor's office hours. That's always a great first option to kind of like talk to them with what's not working well, and maybe they can change their teaching around or like help you out more.
Another thing I'd like to add is just like for students who may feel nervous, because UNC Charlotte is such a big campus, just don't be afraid to get involved and use different resources and go to different events. Like for me last year, I know that the International Fest and Gold Rush and like the Ari Lennox concert, like that was just so instant, and like the quicker that I became connected with the campus and getting involved, the more comfortable I felt walking around the campus. So that's another thing.
What he said, we actually do have over 400 student organizations. So I really do encourage as well to get involved. There's something, all these student opportunities, like there's something that you can find that fits for you. If not, you can always create a student organization that you want.
I think my piece of advice would be to get connected with your student leaders, whether that's your OC who was with you over the summer, whether that's your RA if you're living in a residence hall, if that's somebody from the campus activities board. Just pick somebody that you see who really their job function is to help you, because they want to and they understand the challenges that come with being a first year student in a new environment. And so I would really recommend to get to know them. They'll do everything they can to help get you connected with whatever success looks like.
Great. That was amazing. That was amazing. Okay. So our next question is going to be, what options do students have for living on campus? And I think y'all got that.
Okay, that's me. Options. I don't know if this is going to answer the question. If it's not, I'm sure that we can reevaluate it. But we have a number of on-campus living options. We have three primary styles of housing. So the traditional style, where you're sharing just a bed space with somebody else in most cases, and you have hall-style bathrooms. We also have the suite style, where you have a living room and a bathroom inside your unit that you share with up to 3 other people. Then we also have the apartment style, which is just like the suite, but it also comes with the addition often of a second bathroom and then a kitchen. But beyond that, we really have a total of like 18 different types under the traditional suite and the apartment style of how many people you want to live with, or how many bathrooms you have, or what kind of building you're in. So 18 different styles of housing total, and there's a lot to look over. Housing and residence life is also a really great resource for you to talk to somebody over in their main office, see what you're looking for, what kind of experience you want to have, and then get connected to the right kind of housing to, I guess, match your needs.
I do want to mention that there is freshman only residence halls. So in case the first year students, they only want to be with the first year and, you know, or meet other people, there's also mixed residence halls. So that's also the option.
Since we're on the topic of housing, for the next question, can all of you describe your experience with living on campus? Or if you did live off campus, can you describe that experience also?
Okay. Oh. Okay, so I stayed in a like an apartment style, and I really liked it because even though like I had my own kitchen, like I had like my own like living space, I like didn't have like I liked the fact that my room was small because like I never wanted to stay in my room for too long. So like I'd like to go out and like, you know, do other things. And I wouldn't just like limit myself to like only one thing. Like I feel like everything is just sort of convenient for different people. So, but I really liked it, and my housing experience was random. So like I didn't really know my roommates prior, but I really ended up fitting in. Like we were very different, but I think that's what made it interesting. So I had a really good experience.
I'll go next. I stayed in a suite style, but it was freshman only dorm. So that was my freshman year. And then this past year, I got to stay in an apartment style. And like he said, it was very convenient just because it was really like close to my classes. I could wake up like 5 or 10 minutes and get to my classes. There was a dining hall literally right behind my dorm. So it was very, very convenient. I like how my RAs, they were always trying to get us involved. And I think that kind of made my living experience even better because that's how I got to meet new people. And being an apartment style helped me actually learn how to cook a little bit. So just being with roommates, I had some randoms, some that I knew, just making friends and definitely taking advantage of the opportunities.
I'll go next. So I lived in Hawthorne Hall, which is a freshman learning community for engineering students. It was a really great experience because I was grouped up with basically everyone who was in my major, kind of new to it, pursuing. So everyone that was in the hall, they were all taking the same classes. If they had problems in classes or group assignments, like your teammates were literally right down the hall. Almost everyone was in there for it, which was really great. And they had so many like challenges and things we could do just being a part of the community. So there was like a seminar for our learning community, and we would participate in like design challenges and stuff in the dorm, which was a great like learning experience and kind of getting involved in what engineering is.
I did live in a vintage residence hall. It was very convenient because I would always wake up like 30 minutes before class, and then after class, I would have like an hour break or like an hour and a half. So I would go back to my dorm and I would just sleep for an hour, and then I could get food really quick because the dining hall was so close to my dorm. So it was just very convenient living on campus. And I never had to worry about parking because I didn't really, I didn't have to commute. And for people who live on campus, they have certain amount of places where they park. And yeah, it was really great and it was very convenient. Now I do live off campus and I really do see the difference.
I have lived just about everywhere on campus at this point. I was an RA for 2 years. I used to give housing tours over the summers. And so I've had a great experience living on campus so far. I think I'm going to be moving off campus this fall. And so I'm excited to try something a little bit different. But like I said, I've had a great experience. It's always been really, really awesome to meet other people who are living right next to you and in the exact same situation as you, right? I think a few other people mentioned that we have all kinds of living options between like freshman only residence halls. We've got learning communities for all kinds of different things. So those are always really great opportunities, but I think I'm really partial to my freshman experience or my first year experience in Sanford. Because of the traditional style, I was really forced to get out of my room. And the type of person I was out of high school, I really needed the forced to get out of my room. I would have stayed in my room if I had a kitchen and a bathroom and all that stuff. So I'm really, really glad that I lived in Sanford just because it really did provide me with a lot of opportunities to now go and do what I'm doing now.
Awesome, those were great. I also live off campus. I lived off campus since I've gotten to UNC Charlotte. And I will say that it hasn't been super bad. A lot of the student living is really close. It's usually within a mile of campus, so it's not super far. So it's not like I have a long commute, but I still get to stay connected to campus as well. My next question for y'all is, how are the dining halls and how are the food options like on campus?
The dining halls are really great. So we have two buffet style dining halls. One is Crown Commons. It is located in the heart of campus. Really easy to like hit there in between classes, and if you didn't want to eat there that day, there's also like a Wendy's and a Bojangles right underneath, along with a Starbucks and a bagel shop, which are really great options. The food that's served in like Crown or Sobe, which is our other dining hall option, which is located in South Village, I think they were really great. They switched their menu 3 times a day, I believe, and they always change the menu up every day of the week. So if maybe you didn't like something at breakfast, maybe lunchtime would get you better with it. And they always have like a consistent style of food. So like pizza, for anyone who maybe if you didn't like what they were trying out that day with the menu, you can always default to a nice classic.
I'll go ahead. There's also different food chains, like Ashley said, Bojangles, Wendy's. We have Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, Denny's, just like a bunch of different options. And then to add to Ashley's comment about Crown and Sobe, they have a wide range of vegan options, vegetarian, chicken, like anything you can name, they have it, desserts. So just a wide range, so you'll never not be able to eat something that you like.
Yeah, I was also gonna add Sophie, they do this thing which I don't know like the official name for it, but they'll have like a certain theme night. Like I remember one time I went and they were just specifically serving, I think it was like for maybe, I don't know if it was for Cinco de, I don't know what it was for, but it was really good. Like it was all Mexican food and I really liked it. And like I was saying, also they have really good omelets in Sophie. So I don't know. I went to Sophie a lot, so yeah.
Just to add one more thing. So depending on your meal plan, so to go to Crowns and to go to Sobe, you use swipes. So I know you can get unlimited swipes, you can get a certain amount of swipes, but if you want to go to the different food chains that we have, you'll get a certain amount of decline balance, which we call it DB. And once you run out, you're stuck a little bit unless you want to add more money to your card. So it's just all about maintaining and not using it all up before the semester is over, because you will have to pay some more if you want some more.
UNC Charlotte Dining Services also employs a registered dietitian and nutritionist for campus. She's really great. She's a really great resource to talk to about maybe if you have dietary needs or dietary restrictions. She's a really great person to talk to about how to navigate on-campus dining, how to make sure that your nutritional needs are met, and that UNC Charlotte is doing everything it can to connect you with what you need.
Those were lots of awesome answers, and it seems like y'all all like to eat. So that's I can understand that. So the next question is, what is moving day like? What does that look like? Or what has that looked like previously?
So my understanding about move-in this year is that it's going to look a little bit different than it has in the past. In the past, we normally have a number of campus organizations who serve to volunteer, help people move in. It's a crazy 3 days of everybody kind of getting on campus with their family. There's lots of tears and laughter and crying as people, say goodbye to their families and step out into college for the first time. But it's always a really, really empowering experience just to be there and spend your first night on campus. This year, I believe it's going to be taking place over the course of a week. So we're going to be doing a scaffolded move-in process to assist with social distancing protocols, making sure that everybody's staying safe, kind of limiting the number of people that we have inside the residence halls, given that people often need more than just themselves to help move in. So I would look at our housing website or contact your housing office about what exactly your move-in time looks like and how to navigate move-in best.
Just something to add. So I've never had like the traditional like move in with everyone moving in. I've been involved in different organizations where it has allowed me to move in early. So something to look forward to when you're joining organizations. So I've moved in early both of my years that I've been at UNC Charlotte, and just being like one of the only people on campus to have it like to yourself and get to move in and not have to worry about in like the elevators getting full or just different stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Definitely join in different organizations.
Perfect. Moving day is also hot. It's very hot. I was burning up moving day, but it's worth it. You can sleep in your bed that night. The next question for you all is, what is the environment like on campus during the weekends?
I can get us started and somebody else can jump in. Weekend life on campus is what you make of it. I know that a lot of people come to UNC Charlotte because it's close to home and they're really inclined to go back home on the weekends. I've seen that as an RA in the residence halls, and just a number of people who like to go home on the weekends. But I really, really encourage you to make the most out of your weekends because they are what you make out of them. There's all kinds of things going on. Campus Activity Board does all kinds of things. There's normally lots of sports games to go to. There's even things to go, like we mentioned earlier, the conversation about things to do in Charlotte. Go grab some of your friends and go do something interesting in Charlotte. So weekends are what you make them.
And to kind of piggyback off of what Dallas was saying, I think like one of the biggest regrets going into like a Monday morning is knowing that you didn't like do everything you know you could have done during the weekend. Like sometimes it is a good time for like relaxation, but at the same time, like I think that making the most of your weekend and knowing that you explored campus or like you took the light rail to go places, even if it's like getting groceries at Food Lion, like it's still just nice to know that you're making the most of your day and not just expecting to only live and do things on the weekdays, since UNC Charlotte has so much to offer on and off campus. So
Yeah, and you can always have like a movie date on the weekends. We do have a movie theater in the student union, the first floor, and it's free for us students. And you can always have a guest, and I believe they will pay $5. But yeah, it's just a cheap way and fun way. Like they have movies playing on over the weekend. So yeah.
Just to piggyback off of everyone else, like Dallas said previously, taking the light rail, there's a place called Noda where you can go take pictures. They have different like artsy backgrounds that you and your friends can go take pictures. There's a lot of different opportunities to volunteer and give back. I know this one organization I was a part of, we volunteered on Saturdays, and just giving back was something that was really beneficial to me. And then I also, on the weekends, is like my time to like get myself together, prepare myself for the week ahead, definitely like do laundry or do homework ahead of the week so I'm not behind, or just like a time for you to do like a self-care day and really get your mindset ready for the week ahead.
Perfect. And one more question for you all. What type of social events occur on campus and how can students find information about them?
So one way that I kept up with everything that was going on, and this is just one little form, is I had like the Bitmoji calendar that they'll usually provide in the student union. I know that's not like specifically like there are rooms in the union, but and I would just hang it in my room, and like depending on the month, I would just usually see what events. One of the most probably like fun events I went to was this Wild and Out night they had early in the school year, and it was very crowded. I remember when I went, like they would not let you leave once you sat down, but it was worth it because it was very entertaining, and they had like guests come, and I just remember that being one of like the first like events that I went to, and I kind of just kept up on the calendar. The International Fest is another one that they do every year, and it just has like different tables and foods and like cultures. It was very hot when I went last year, but it was worth it. So.
Also, piggybacking off of that, in the residency halls, they are always posting flyers and like information about what's going on, like outside of campus, inside of campus. And in my residence hall, we had like 1 to 2 events going on a week just within our dorm, sponsored by the RAs. So I know a lot of the other residence halls, like the RAs, will plan like monthly events, maybe even weekly events. And I was in the Resident Student Association, so we would plan other events for our hall and maybe pairing up with other halls to kind of get more students acclimated to that kind of like social gathering. And we would even bring in like sports. Like we had the football team come in a few times for Halloween, and we did like dorm trick-or-treating, and we would go to everyone's like door and pass out like Halloween candy. It was super fun. Great way for the engineering students in my dorm to meet the sports team.
Something to add, definitely social media is where I like kind of stay connected, following different organizations and still connecting with your OC, because we do post things ahead of time, like Gold Rush is something that's important that's coming up also. So just like staying connected, because that's another way for you to see what's coming up. Literally people will post it like every day of the week, just so you know, like, yay, there's an event, make sure you come out and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, those are all of the questions that we have today. Just a reminder to anyone who is watching, we have some more webinars coming up this summer, next couple of Fridays, and then another series on Friday, August 14th. So if you want to check out where all of those webinars are, what they will be and when they will be happening, go ahead and go to nsfs.uncc.edu, and you'll see a link specifically to our webinar series with all those dates, how to sign up, and everything that is going on. So there also is another Ask an OC webinar on Friday, July 31st. So definitely, if you found this interesting and want to find out more, hear from different OCs, I encourage you to attend that webinar as well. But this recording will be on YouTube, so for those of you tuning in and if you want to share it with friends, family members, definitely encourage them to check out our YouTube page for this webinar, as well as recordings from many other that have already taken place. I want to thank our orientation counselors for sharing your perspectives and experiences as a student today. Thank Cameron and Raina, our Gold Rush student coordinators, for moderating this panel. Did a great job. And then that is it. So again, check out our webinar page on our website. And I hope everyone listening has a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.